Hey everyone, it's Skylar. Welcome back to the channel. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing very well. Mind that I've got the sniffles when I want to do the video on top of where I'm at. Hang on, let me see. Right, I'm going to do something 1 second. Right, just bear with me. I got some tissues. Now I can place you back down again. Right. No, that's out the way. Right. Because I've been wanting to do this little vlog for a while, and I've got the chance to do it now, so yeah. So before I start, I just need to do a quick reply and then we're going to start. Yeah. Look at my smile, so you know who I am messaging, so yeah. so good. Right, so we got that sorted out now, so let me get back to regular filming. I like to be distracted a little bit. Right, so basically, this video is going to talk about benidorm, but before I even start this video is not designed to put you off at all, but bearing in mind everywhere you go things like this do happen. So obviously this video is going to be titled the good, the bad, we'll just say the good and the ugly. We won't say bad because, to be honest, there's nothing really bad. We'll just say ugly. The great and ugly. So, the great and ugly of benidorm. I'm talking about, what I did there when I lived there and the changes and stuff like that. So, let's first get to the first thing first. Basically, this is something that you should avoid when you're in benidorm. But I know that these bastardos do have a chance to fucking ring it in. Right. And this has even been going on since I lived in benidorm. So I want to get this out the way first and do the good last. So basically, it's the good old P-men. The P-men have been... This game has been around for centuries. Basically, it's either a pea or a potato, and they put it under these little nutshells, and you twist them around, and then it's open one up, you win a prize. Bearing in mind, you actually don't win. As soon as the scammers, because they have them, they've got the P-man, they've got two here, two back there, two behind. I see them all the time when I go to benidorm. It's rampant with it. And people fall for it all the time, especially drunks. So, yeah. But this is the thing, you don't win, you never win. You might win one time, but they take your money off you like nobody's business. Luckily, I will say this, I've never been scammed at it. I know the tricks. But some people have been scammed out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of euros, pounds, dollars, whatever. But they will also pickpocket you. So this gets into the next part of what I want to talk about. So that's why I'm going to get this out the way. So basically, there's pickpocketers. And even in this game, this P-Men game, they will dip you. So I am going to suggest a big massive thing. If you ever are on vacation in Benidorm or wherever, please do not, guys, do not put your wallet in your ass pocket, your back pocket. That is, or your phone or anything like that. That is the worst thing anybody can do. Always have them in your front pocket. Make sure you have your wits about you. Ladies, I advise you not to take a shoulder bag when you're away. Always take a small crossbody bag. Have it in front of you. Or what we call a bum bag, aka what you guys call a fanny pack. Everything's at the front. Make sure nothing's in sight, and make sure you've got your wits about you, because they will dip you any way they can. They will dip you side pocket, like back pocket. They'll go into your coat pocket as well. So don't have anything in your coat pockets either. That's another thing as well. But you can be pickpocketed as well. I've seen this scam, this pickpocketing trick happen all the time. And there's a new one I'm going to reveal to you guys as well. You go to the bank, they're watching. They're watching you taking your money out the ATM. They're seeing you putting it in your purse or your hat, your wallet, whatever. You put it in you. They're following you. They're trying to make a conversation for you. Bam, they go to your bag. Make sure your hand is on where your zip part is and grab it tightly closed if you see anything untoward or anything like that. Yep. And then the new scam concerning this is, I know how ladies like to have a backpack. If you're having a backpack in busy places like a market, like if you're going to like an outdoor market or anywhere that's very crowded, make sure your backpack is in front of you, not behind. If you are behind, they can walk. This is the new trick they've got. You walk along, they walk behind you, your bag's opened. You see that your bag's opened, bam, you're pickpocketed, or your watch is ripped off your thingy. Just don't fall for that. Make sure everything is the front on you. Make sure that you ignore them, whatever, because they try and get your attention as much as possible. So, yeah. Yeah, but I just wanted to say that. Now, here's another one. Beggars that aren't actually beggars. This is very common everywhere. We get it here in Liverpool. Everywhere has it. I'm just talking about Benidorm. You see, there is a lady and sometimes a guy. I'll talk to the lady one first. The lady is outside Consum Supermercado. It's a supermarket, grocery store. And she's sitting there begging for money. Do not give any money to anybody on the streets. Ever, ever. Because this lady is seen going up one of the streets by Primavera Park and La Guerra Park, right? Seen changing her clothes into a brand new suit that costs thousands and thousands of euros and is going into a Mercedes-Benz car. There's two other ones that to watch out for that you see. One is a guy on a walking stick pretending that there's something wrong with his leg. He is one of the worst ones ever in Benidorm. Don't fall for it. Don't go to him and give him any money, because he'll just he'll just find where you've got your money and whip your fucking wallet. And then the last one is, this is a main one. There's a guy that has his legs twisted. You're meant to feel sorry for him. The reason why his legs are the way it is because I've personally seen this while I lived in Benidorm. A few people were doing this. It's basically associated to other gangs like the P-men and the other people that rob you. I've seen this happen to this guy before. He lived on a campsite and basically they beat his legs to a pulp and twisted his legs on purpose to make everybody feel sorry for him. And yeah, mentioning this, I used to also live on a campsite. Make sure everything is locked in your caravans or your accommodation, because I had my caravan broken into quite a few times coming back from work. It still happens even today. They can even walk in your caravan and fucking try and steal money. I remember this one time, we were coming home. I think we went shopping or something like that. We went to the grocery store. This was quite a few years ago. And a friend of ours was shouting to me and my ex-husband, come here, I've been robbed. Now this guy was 7 foot and a Romanian. And my ex-husband's only 5'7". Don't know how he done it, but he caught him right on the chin, sucker punched him, and he landed on his ass and fucking grabbed the money, and he's going, no, this is my money, and it wasn't his money. He stole it out of freaking Lorraine's, who's a friend of ours. We've known Lorraine for many years, but obviously she went back to Scotland. She had a caravan. Hers was at the front, ours was right at the back. But this Romanian guy didn't give a shit for anybody. Obviously now he's been arrested and he's in jail because he got caught for his crimes. So yeah, and the police will only put pickpockets or anything like that in jail if they catch them in the act, and then they're only in jail for a few months and then they get released. But this Romanian guy is still in jail now because he stabbed somebody on the square. Yeah, we'll be talking about the square in a minute. So yeah, let's get these other scams not to fall for in place. Next one is property scams. This has happened quite a few times to people. Especially like timeshare. Timeshare is one of the worst. Do not fall for the timeshare. I will say this, that's the only scam I've ever fell for in all my years of being in Benidorm, being on vacation. That was my only thing that I fell for, was the timeshare. Basically, they take the money out of your bank, not cash, card only, and I will talk about something else that's got to do with cards straight after this. So with the card, they'll take the money out the card and you're thinking, oh, it's only certain amounts. No, they're taking £2,000 out your bank and then they go, wee, with the champagne. But with that £2,000, they're sharing it out with everybody and you're not going to get that money back. But I will say this, twice that I've been scammed with timeshare, both times I've got my money back. So yeah. Now speaking of that sort of scam, I got a new one here that was sent to me by a friend of mine tonight. and this has been in the news, everything. Basically, you're going into a souvenir shop. This is no matter where you are. Benidorm, Tenerife, the Canary Islands, Malaga, Barcelona, you name it. This is happening. And they've been caught. So, the scam is, you go into an electronic shop, inside a souvenir shop. That is the first thing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alarm bells ringing straight away. And they con you into buying a phone, a tablet, an iPad, whatever, laptop. And they say to you this: can we have your credit card? You can only pay by card. Give us a deposit of €30 and that's it. You come back, you'll get your tablet. They are targeting older people, the younger heart. So basically tourists are mainly getting targeted with this. And they're charging their cards with over £2,000. So this is a bad scam. Do not fall for it. They're not only charging you £2,000, they're cloning your card, they're stealing your bank details, they're also putting in sometimes it could be £3,000-4,000. They could actually put in a higher amount that but you're thinking, oh yeah, €30, that's fine. They make you type in your number. They actually are stealing your PIN numbers as well. This sometimes happens at restaurants as well, so just be aware. I'm not saying this to put you off coming to Benidorm, wherever. I'm not saying this to put you off going. This happens everywhere. But this is a brand new scam that's been going on only a couple of months now. So I'm bringing it to you to light. So, yeah. So just, for us guys, we wouldn't fall for that. But it's for I'd say my granddad's age or somebody else's mum or wherever. That's who they target. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then speaking of property, what it is, sometimes you could buy a property and you can give them a certain amount. And then the next thing is, you're going to the property, they say, oh, can we view the property? It's a bank repossessed property and it's not even completed. It'll never be completed, so they're taking your money off you. It's absolutely crazy. Then you've also got the scammers on the beach that say, oh, it's this amount for your sun lounger, umbrella, whatever. You give them the money. Then the actual people that are with the sun loungers and the umbrellas are actually coming around with the right price, and you're thinking you've actually paid for them, and you haven't. You've actually just been scammed by an opportunist selling you the sun lounger and the umbrella. So be careful of that one. But that's only €20. But €20 is still €20. But this is a major one, a massive major one. I've seen this personally going on, so I am going to definitely make you aware of this. And this is going to happen. This is happening everywhere. When I was last in Benidorm filming, I'm just walking around normally. To the corner of my eye, it's like the similar guys that do the P-men. They are making poisonous cocktails in the open air with these jugs. You don't know what the heck is in them. They're taking them to the beach and they are basically saying to people, oh, we just got them from the bar. Would you like a drink? Here's a cocktail. A lot of people do fall for this, some people don't. But just be aware, for the people that do fall for it, they put fucking all sorts of shit in it. You're passed out and then they will fucking pickpocket you, they will rob you. Which is crazy. And then you've got the pickpockets at the market, so just be careful that when you're at the markets, I'll talk about Benidorm. Benidorm markets are open Wednesday and Sunday. Then you've got one in the Old Town on a Wednesday. And then you've got El Cisne Market on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you've got Albia Market on a Sunday. So that's, but just make sure that you've got everything on the front of you. So nothing's like untowards. Just make sure you keep your wits about yourself and just make sure that if it's very crowded, you try and move away. Just get what you're doing and then go, sort of thing. That's why I don't like to be in markets too long, but I will talk about because I love El Cisne Market, so I'm going to talk about that in a minute on the good side. So yeah. Now we are going to talk about, obviously, in Spain, they drive the same side as people in the US. They don't drive the same side as us. Now, here is the thing. People in Spain love to use their horns. They blow their horns out for anything and everything. It's crazy. And yeah. And they will just cut you off through anything. But I will say this, Spanish drivers aren't as bad as Maltese drivers. Maltese drivers, but it's not, I think it's not just the Maltese, it's other nationalities that live in Malta. They are the worst drivers in the world. I panic when I'm in a taxi in Malta. I don't panic when I'm in a taxi in Benidorm. So, it's not too bad. Oh yeah, some speed limits in Benidorm can range from 120 kilometers an hour, which is like 80 miles an hour, to 10 miles an hour. And that's going in the city centre. There are also, as I said, some places can be overcrowded, so also just keep your wits about yourself where you go. I personally, because I suffer with anxiety, I try not to go to places where they're too crowded. I like to get a seat, I like to eat my food, and yeah. Also, I just want to mention something as well. A lot of people like to get a taxi from when they go home from clubbing, be in the pub, be in the restaurant, whatever. Just be careful when you're in a taxi. Because if you leave your belongings in the taxi, you probably won't get it back. Taxis can steal from tourists. But I will say this, so a lot of bars in Benidorm, which this will just prompt me to go into a little bit more what I go into, which isn't as bad. They're the main bad things, but what I'm going to say now gets into the not bad and then the greats. I will say this, I'd say 8 out of 10 bars in Benidorm, if they see like a phone lying around your handbag, purse, passport, whatever, they will either keep it behind the bar or they will go to it's like a mini police station in the new town of Benidorm, and they will take your belongings there, and probably 9 out of 10 times you'll get your stuff back. On the odd occasion you won't get your stuff back because it's probably been stolen by, obviously, these gangs of pickpockets. I will say this though, before I carry on, because this has happened to me last year when I was in Benidorm, so you have to be very, very careful on your wits about yourself. Now, I don't drink a lot, right? I do like to have a couple of drinks, but I always make sure my wits are always about myself, especially in Benidorm, and especially at night. There are guys poaching. We say poaching. They're like standing on the street corners, trying to entice you into clubs. But they're not just doing that. They are offering you drugs. And I mean, not your weeds, not your marijuana, like your amphetamines, your ecstasy, your cocaine. This has happened to me. And he's like, one of the guys was a bit abrupt with me. And I'm going to tell you this. He's like, oh, you want cocaine? I went, no. I said, and he said it while I was filming. And he go, you want cocaine, you need cocaine, you want cocaine? I was like, I said, hey, I said, I'm filming. And he went, what? I said, I've just filmed you asking me for cocaine, you tit. And he started getting abrupt with me. I said, do you know who the fuck you're talking to? And he goes, do you know him? And I went, hey, bollocks, get over here. And I went, do you know such and such a person? Me and my granddad. And he went, no. I said, yeah, I'm his granddaughter and he's offered me cocaine. I said, if my granddad heard that, you know what would happen to your head? And the guy went, no, you leave her alone. I said, I film as well, you know. I said, my granddad knows that I do vlogs and stuff like that. And the guy was like, okay, we leave you alone. If we see you, we leave you alone. And I was like that. What the fuck? But this guy was like, he was going to be at me. And he was going to have about 4 or 5 guys come to attack me. But because I mentioned my granddad, I didn't say who my granddad was, I just said, do you know such and such a person? Because I just mentioned one name, which is my granddad. And that's it. They just shut the fuck up. They know not to mess with me. So anyway, now we got that bit out the way. Let's talk about the middle part. We're like 27 minutes in. So basically, there is the back road in Benidorm. I will explain this. For somebody that lived in Benidorm and worked this back street, and no, I don't want you to get your ideas in your brains. No, I worked in a nightclub, 2 nightclubs there, called Mansion and Space. Space is basically more of your after party nightclub that's open from like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to like 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I was mainly based there. Now and again I'd go to Mansion. I'd do 3 till 9 in the morning. That's the way it was in Benidorm. The nightlife in Benidorm starts usually around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on the back street of Benidorm, and then it goes all the way up to about, most of the clubs get out about 9, 10 a.m. But for Space, that's the after party. That's where everybody goes. Everybody that knows everybody knows that's where you go for the after party. And that's up till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I worked there, so yeah. There have been times where I've known that friends of mine, that's why I'd never ever walked there. I always got a lift to work, or I'd always get a taxi to work. Never ever walked there, especially from when I was at the campsites, when I was living on the campsite, especially Titus and Benisol, which were down the road from each other. You're walking along there at night at like 2, 3 in the morning. No. 1, 2 in the morning. No. Get a taxi. Never ever walk those back streets. Yes. I know they're planning on doing like a parking and they're building something else on it. But never ever venture there, because you could be raped. I've heard, well, it's not heard, people have been stabbed there. Just awful things happen to people down there. So always make sure that if you do want to venture, those nightclubs in the back streets, get a taxi and make sure you're never ever on your own. So yeah. 2, we'll get on to the Yellow Brick Road. The Yellow Brick Road is sort of the same thing. That is where, because the Yellow Brick Road is very, very dark, there's no light whatsoever. So I will say this, I know Hotel Rio Park is there, so always be very careful when you go there, especially at night. I advise people not to go on the Yellow Brick Road. That's because there's like 3 parts to the Yellow Brick Road, but it's not yellow. That's the thing. We've always called it the Yellow Brick Road for years and years and years, but it's not yellow. It's just because it used to be well lit, and then one part is like a really bad part, so not a lot of people go down that part, but that's where Hotel Rio Park is. But it's more derelict at the top, and it's just a shame that it's like that. But just keep your wits about that. Right, now we're talking about the British Street, Girona Street, in the Levante side of Benidorm. Now, I do like Girona Street, don't get me wrong, but literally it is full on bar after bar after bar. You've got your Morgan's Tavern, Waikiki. I will say this, Waikiki, I got spite in Waikiki. So be very, very, very careful. It is the bar staff that do it. And yeah, just be very careful. Now, I don't go into Waikiki anymore. The only reason why I went into Waikiki because I saw friends of mine that were in Scotland that were on a previous vlog of mine, and I wanted to say goodbye to them, and they offered me a drink. It was in the shot. I took the shot, and I felt a little bit woozy. It's on my previous vlog. You'll see, recognise the girls. They were like a hen party, and then about a couple of months later, about 3 of them got married all at once. It was so cool. And I was there for like the wedding day, and I got to see them celebrating. It was just so nice that I was a part of their wedding in some sort of way, because I made their hen party special. I was like, hey, what do you want me to do? I said, if you've got anything you want me to do, I'll do anything. So I want you to, before I carry on with this, right, one of my happiest parts, it's off Girona Street. It's a place called Royal Secrets. A lot of people have seen that vlog of me taste testing the cocktails. Oh my god, Kaylee loves me in there. I love Kaylee. Kaylee is a diamond. Every time I try and go back to Benidorm, I always make a point to go and see Kaylee. And Kaylee might be making me a very, very special cocktail called the Rainy Night Gamer Cocktail. Yep. Yeah, I got in contact with her. I said, like, hey, I'm coming to Benidorm. Can you make me a rainy? And she went, what? I went, I'll tell you everything when I get there. She's like, okay. So, yeah, I will say this. Because of my vlogs and because of what I done with the girls at the hen party, yes, I did allow one of the girls to take a body shot off me. And you see it live on camera. Yeah, it's all good. Because of that, people have been coming to, obviously, the bar and been saying, we've watched Skylar's vlog and now we're coming into your bar. And they get the same service I get. The cocktails are the best. That place is voted #1 cocktail bar in Europe for a reason. And I went there and taste tested. I've taste tested now 7 cocktails and they're amazing. And she plans on doing me a Rainy Night Gamer cocktail. So yeah, as I was saying, Girona Street is just full of bars. You've got like Morgan's Tavern, which is filmed from the TV series of Benidorm, which I was an extra in. And that's another thing I can talk about, because this is going to be a long ass vlog, I'm telling you now. You've got like the Sol Pelicanos. That's where they, like the Solana, that's where they filmed the hotel in Benidorm. But what they actually done, they filmed the outside in the swimming pool in the Sol Pelicanos, and then in another hotel they actually filmed the rooms. So anyway, carrying on back to Girona Street, you've got like Tiki Town, Hotel California, Western Saloon, which is a very popular bar, the Red Lion, Queen's Arms, Rockefellers, Stardust, which is opening back up in the summer because they're refurbing it, thank God, because it was annoying. Planet Benidorm, Jumping Jacks, the White Star, the Secret Fountain. Secret Fountain is one of the best bars in Benidorm. It's like up the stairs and it's out the way sort of thing. It's an amazing little bar. Uncle Ped's you've got, which is like around the corner. Where else? Winning Post, Rover's Return, Flamingo, Funky Flamingo, that's it. Just trying to think where else. But like literally, oh yeah, the Red Lion. Did I mention the Red Lion? Broadway. We've got the corner of Broadway. Now we get to the square, the infamous square. Yes. Where you've got Broadway, Beachcomber, Chaplin's, Hippodrome. I don't know if Champions is still open, but Champions is still there. Tommy's Bar right at the top. Zodiac Bar. Just that full-on square that they call the British Square, and it's full of nightclubs. Yes, I will admit I have been there back in the day, but now it's like not for me sort of thing. I prefer the Old Town, which we'll talk about in a minute. So yeah, so Girona Street is probably more famous for the Brits. Oh yeah, and they've also got round the corner, right by Royal Secret, is a place called Mateo's, which is Mateo's is a bar that's based from one of the main characters that's played by Jake Canuso from the TV series Benidorm. So that's the bar that is actually owned by the writer and director of Benidorm, Darren Litton. So yeah, just trying to think what other bars. Rocky's pub as well. Andy's Simply the Best. All those bars, and a few others along that Girona Street. I do say yeah, go in them, but I don't struggle for alcohol per se. It's more food because they have the vinegar on the tables, and with my vinegar allergy, which sucks, because I did have something happen to me in Benidorm. I was in the Winning Post. I'll go back again, but I'll just say to him, hey, can you put me in the corner, take the vinegar away from me, and I'll eat my dinner. I will go back. What it was coming to Benidorm last time. I had a guy behind me kicking the back of my seat, shouting abuse at me because I was filming. Knowing I was going to the toilet, and I like to take a bit of time in the toilets just to have a pee, just to get myself collected on the pain. He was banging out the door, and so I had abuse off this guy on the plane. I did complain about it, but nothing went, because it caused me a lot of anxiety. While I was there, I saw the same person, and I was having a drink, and he came over and he tipped the vinegar in my drink and all on the food, and I drank the thingy, and for people that don't know, I suffer with a severe vinegar allergy, and I suffered with an anaphylactic shock. My eyes started going bloodshot and I couldn't talk, and I was struggling to breathe, and I gave the lady the bar, I said, I have to go. And she seen I was going purple, and I ran to the chemist, and I forgot my nappy pen, and I explained the situation. I said, I'll pay whatever. I said, I need a nappy pen. I said, I've got a severe vinegar allergy. Don't know how they had it, but there was one there. I think it was like €12 or something. So they gave me like a pack of 4. Bam, nappy pen in me. And because they were shocked, they said if I didn't come to the chemist when I did, it would have been a lot worse for me. So yeah, obviously the guy was there and he was laughing because he heard that I was talking about my allergy on the plane. So he thought he was being smart. So yeah, but I would go back again. Definitely, I would go back to the Winning Post because obviously my friend used to work there, and so obviously she used to work there. I'll go back. I want to try meals in places. So now we're talking about this was even going on even when I lived there. It's crazy that now we're still talking about this in 2023. Yep. And it's the Spanish that do this. It's not us. Obviously, they gather around and millions of people, gabbing away. They block on pedestrians, especially people that are on mobility scooters. How are they meant to get past if they're in the way? And they'll walk, but they'll block the pedestrians as they talk as well. But they walk so slow, and you're like, oh man, what do you do here, sort of thing. So I have a trick when I do this. I let them walk along as much as they can, and I just stand back, get my bearings, wait, and then walk. But they do it all the time, and they are noted for it. Now, also in Benidorm, try not to hire out a car unless you really, really have to, because car parking in Benidorm is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But I will say this, in Benidorm there's not enough parking spaces at all. There's not enough. And sometimes if you park on the blue lines, you do have to pay, but it's only like €2.50 for like 4 hours. So yeah, it's not as bad as what you think. But like, try your best not to take a car and try and take public transport. Which I'm going to talk about public transport in a minute, because public transport is epic. But you can be pickpocketed on this, so don't worry about that. So the last part I want to talk about before I get on to the good side and how my experience was living in Benidorm is this. Is taxi prices. This is the issue with taxis, right? I feel that taxis should be a certain fare. It's like from here to Liverpool city centre, it's a flat rate of £8.50. It's like £8.50. We know on a private hire taxi, it's £8.50. But in Benidorm, they charge different rates because they're on a meter. Some can charge between, I think it's €5.50 to 15 just in Benidorm alone. Like just in Benidorm to Albia to Calafinistrate, which is just outside of Benidorm. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. A bit about Albia and Calafinistrate. But €20 to €25 if you're going towards La Villa Joyosa. And in La Villa Joyosa is the hospital, which I will talk about in a minute. But yes, they can be very varied. But I know other places in the world, taxi prices are extortion. Just to go down the road in Florida, it's like 20-25 euros in an Uber. Like 10-15 minutes away. I'm like, what? Yep. So, kind of got to get used to that when I go to the States in the summer. But yeah, anyway. So now we can talk about the goods. But before this starts, I want to talk about my experience living in Benidorm for almost 15 years. And how I found it personally myself. I will say this, we only got robbed once in our entire 15 years that we were in Benidorm. But it wasn't my fault, it was his. Reason being is we were living on a campsite. It's called Titus campsite in Benidorm. It's the oldest campsite in Benidorm because it was the cheapest. And it was easier to like get a wage and have fun, whatever. So, this numbnut decided to leave his phone outside on the bench. It was a Nokia 3310. Yeah, we're going back, it's a little bit, we're going back quite a few years ago. And I went in the shower, but I took all my stuff with me. Which I always do. Always have done. So I took my stuff with me. So I comes back, didn't realise numbnuts went out and locked the door. So I'm stuck in the awning, freezing from this shower. Luckily I had clothes, but it was still like a little bit chilly. It was like about 6-7 o'clock at night because I was trying to get ready to go to work. He comes back. I'm trying to phone him up, and I get on this answer, see, ha 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 ha, and I was like, that's not Peter. I was like, holy fuck. It was the fucking, the Moroccans fucking who robbed his phone. Yeah, you not get phone back. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck. And I went to Peter, where's your phone? Oh, it's on the bench. I went, no, it's not. He went, it is, you fucking like, arguing with me. I went, go and look at the bench. Where's my phone? I went, well, I've tried to phone about 10 times and I've had a bunch of Moroccans answer the phone. Saying, ha, 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 you're not getting the phone back. He went, what? I went, they've got your phone. And they kept on texting my number. Saying, you not get phone back here. We're going to come to the campsite and we're going to rob all your stuff out of the campsite. I was like, and I put, we have nothing to rob. We've got 0. I said, all we have is the clothes and the food. We leave nothing in caravan for you to rob. And they were shocked. I mean, they were like, oh my goodness. They didn't know what to do, but obviously we didn't get the phone back. So we had to get a new phone. So we got a new phone for them, brought over from the UK. So obviously we got the phone. Well, obviously we got a new phone, and that's that. So obviously talking about an experience living in the caravan. It was, to be honest, it was good because what a lot of caravans were doing at that time was, in the actual caravan itself, you had your bed. We just had the bed and like a toilet. So that was like our bedroom sort of thing. So we kept it as our bedroom. Like, got it modernised to like our bedroom. Once we left outside and went in the awning, that was where our living room area was. With like TV, like Blu-ray player, DVD player, whatever. And what else? We can listen to music and stuff like that. And then we go round outside, round the back. We had like a little patio table, like a sun trap. And then we had a shed where it was like our fridge, freezer, all our cooking stuff, like where we could cook our steak and stuff like that. Not just for me working, for me wrestling as well. So yeah, so, and then we had the car. Where was the car parked? Yeah, the car was parked outside the caravan. So yeah, and then we'd walk like about a couple of 100 yards, and we got like our shower. We'd go like the daily toilet, whatever, but we'd have like a nightly toilet for us to go to sleep, so we didn't have to go in and out to go to the toilet, sort of thing. And then we had a wash machine on site, so we could wash our clothes. So we were washing our clothes like twice a week, like a couple of times a week, just to save like money or whatnot. So yeah, so obviously I lived on 2 caravan sites, Titus and Benidorm, completely 2 different campsites. On Titus you could get away with more. On Benidorm you couldn't. The noise thing went off at 12 o'clock at night, so you couldn't even listen to your TV or nothing like that. You had to go to sleep, sort of thing. But a lot of the time I was working, so yeah. So caravanning was fun. It was a lot less expensive than what you think, but I actually preferred to stay in an apartment. Sometimes a 1 bed, sometimes a 2. But it was like place to place in Benidorm. We lived in Vacanza for like a few months. I talked about this on a vlog, on one of the daily vlogs when I was away for my birthday last year. So you can go back and we'll talk about that. So I'll say some of the places. We lived in Vacanza, we lived in Sunsea 2, we lived in Playman Park, we lived in, where was the other one? The Luxmar. We were in the Luxmar for about 2 months. We were in the Buena Vista for about 2 months. But the longest one we were in was, we also stayed in Aquarium 2. Yeah, Aquarium 2. And then there was another one along, I've got to try and remember, it was Gemelos. We were there for like the longest, and then we moved to the old town. We moved near to, I'm trying to think. It was more rougher, but it was cheaper, like kind of cheaper. The rent was like about €100 cheaper. And we stayed, where were we staying? Near the hospital Benidorm, because it was kind of cheaper there. So we stayed there for a little bit. And then we found a place in La Nucia. So we had friends that lived on the bottom of us, and we lived on the top. So it was like a duplex. Like a duplex. So they had their place on the bottom with like 3 bedrooms. And ours was 2 bedrooms on the top. But you'd have stairs to get to it. Still the same layout, but we had, because downstairs got the free. Because they got an extra one that had that was set off from the living room, where ours was just a living room, a little part for the kitchen. The kitchen was tiny, Then you go straight along, bathroom, and the first bedroom, then our bedroom, balcony, looking over the pool. We shared the pool, which was fun. But then I stayed in Benidorm a while longer, and Pedro had to come back for something, so I stayed. So the friends of mine said, hey, because it was sort of like the end of our lease, and they said, we've got a spare room for you, you can have it, share the rent with us. And I said, okay. So I took all my stuff, what I needed, put it in the room, shared with them, and so they had room for like family to come over and that. So this was in La Nucia. I loved La Nucia. It was the bestest place I lived in when all my time at Benidorm. And then obviously things were going on there I wasn't too happy about. Just something that was a bit iffy on my behalf. Had to move back to England. Things happened in England, and then I came back, and then I moved back to I actually moved to Albia. Albia is lovely, and I stayed in an apartment in Albia and Alfaz. It was mainly more towards Alfaz, and we were there like for the longest, because it was actually my dad's place, so I moved into my dad's place. And then we moved back into Benidorm to... Where did we move to? Oh, where's the place? I'm trying to think where it was. It was up out the... Yeah. It was another duplex out the way, going towards Aqualandia, so it was like way out. Like sort of out of Benidorm, but they were nice. They were nice. That's a 2-bed duplex, shared pool, which was amazing. And then after that, after the 15 years, we moved back to the UK. But obviously, like, my highlight of it was the reason why we moved from place to place. We moved about, I think it was like 8 different times in like 15 years, so it wasn't too bad. But it was just the rent was getting higher, and either the landlord was selling the property to go back to England or wherever, or we had to move to get a cheaper property. That was the only reason why we had to move. Obviously, I worked. My ex-hubby didn't. Peter didn't. So I worked in bars, restaurants, nightclubs. I was a wrestler, and I was also singing as well. So I was the breadwinner, I was the one that was working. So it was crazy to think that this gal was juggling all these stuff, still being a champion, still wrestling every other weekend, still working during the week, still had a little bit of time to chill out with people, and it was good. It was good, like, but I'll always say my favourite part is I loved, and I still do to this day, I do love the old town. I do love the old town. And then there was times where me and a friend of mine, Adele, we would go to Calafinistrats to sort out, like, go shopping and stuff like that. And her mum, for quite a few years, was designing my wrestling gear. So I was having, like, the jumpsuits, the all-in-one, like, sort of like bodysuits, the unitard, you name it. She was doing it for me for a while. And then in the end, my nan was doing stuff for me. But I was the one that didn't like all the glitz and the glamour. I didn't like all the sparkly bits. So she tried to make it a little bit sparkly, but not too sparkly for me. Even when she was doing my Amy Lee Evanescence gear. It was more like a gothic, but with like a little bit of sparkle in it, which was amazing. So, yeah. Like, obviously, different bars I've worked in throughout Benidorm. Unfortunately, they're all closed now. Popeyes, one of the bestest memories ever of working in Popeyes. I love Popeyes. Done some stuff in the square. Where else did I work? So it was like mainly Popeyes. Done a bit in Mad Dogs. Done a bit in. There was like a Dundee bar. I done the Music Maker. This was like around like 2004, 2005, 2006. That's where I was working in a lot of bars, and then I went and done like the Amy Lee stuff in JJ's. Oh man, you name it. The bars that have been in. Oh, JJ's, Popeyes. Obviously, there was a Dundee bar, worked in there. Music Maker, I did do my Amy Lee in the Music Maker. That was the first place I done the Amy Lee. And then a lot of other bars as well. Oh yeah, like Why Not, a few other cabaret bars. I think I done I've done Black Chicken as well. I remember doing Black Chicken. And then I've done the Mai Tai in the Old Town. Just trying to think where else I've done. Quite a few different places. Oh yeah, Tropical. Yeah, because Tropical was around. Be Your Friends. And a few other places. So yeah. So working there was pleasant. I did have some of the riff-raffs giving me a hard time, but it wasn't too major. Because I had a hard, tough. Nothing when they found out I was wrestling, that was like, oh boy, let's leave her alone sort of thing. We don't want to mess with her. And even at the time, shopping, I'd love going grocery shopping twice a week because it was cheaper to do my grocery shopping in Spain than it would be in the UK. It was mental. So yeah, and then I'm going to tell you, well, I've already done hotels that I've personally stayed at and apartments I've lived in as well. Yeah, so let's talk about more on the good side of Benidorm. Firstly, you will see a lot of people using mobility scooters. It is a haven for mobility scooters. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but if it's going to help you get around and you want that bit of quality of life and you want to go to Benidorm and you do need a mobility scooter, all to you. Yeah, so the next thing I want to talk about is tapas. Benidorm is famous for Tapas Alley, Tapas Corner, Tapas Square. It's full of tapas, especially in the Old Town. If you want to find tapas food, you go to the Old Town. But I will, from my personal experience and my personal preference, I've tried Tapas Alley and I've tried Tapas Square. For me, it's not for me because it's more expensive. I personally go to one place, tapas bar in Benidorm, in the Old Town. It's called Zodiac. You get 6 tapas and a bottle of rosé wine, red wine, white wine, whatever, for €8. Or I think it's €8.50. And the tapas actually fill you up. But if you want more, it's only €1.50. But it's the stuff's good. And I found in Zodiac it's better quality and it tastes better. And they've been around for years and years and years. So there's the quality there. So I love it so much. So that's a recommendation for you. I'll give you some recommendations of food-wise that I personally like as well. So yeah, so I love Zodiac. Anybody that comes with me, no matter if you're my boyfriend, your friend, whatever, I will definitely take you there. So the beaches, technically, they've got quite a few. But the main two is Levante and Poniente. They're the main two beaches in Benidorm. You've got Playa del Mapas, which is like a smaller beach, a bit more privated. You've got La Cala Beach. And then you've got 3 smaller beaches at the side of Benidorm. One is actually a nudist beach. Yes, Benidorm has a nudist beach. Oh boy. People be jumping at the seats now. Oh my god, Skylar's talking about a nudist beach in Benidorm. Yep, Benidorm has a nudist beach. And then you've got Albia and Altea beaches as well, which are beautiful beaches. But me personally, I love Levante Beach, because Levante Beach always has my heart. I love Levante Beach. I love Poniente. But Playa Malpaz is a more quieter beach, and you can actually like go in the water and it's a lot peaceful and stuff like that. But for me personally, I love Playa de Malpaz. So trips, oh boy, trips is a good one. You do have the port of Benidorm, which is located in the old town right by Dove Park. Dove Park is just amazing. It's full of white doves and you can get to feed them. And yeah, a lot of people say Pigeon Park, but it's not, it's actually Dove Park. So anyway, going to Port of Benidorm, where there's a lot of boat trips that you can do. Firstly, you've got the Benidorm Island, where you can see Benidorm Island and you can see like some birds and stuff like that, and eat at it's actually a legal cafe. It shouldn't have been built, but obviously it can never be knocked down because of how it's being built. So you've got Tobacco Islands, which is you're going on a boat ride for a few hours. And you get to go to Alicante and stuff like that. Then you've got the boat trip for the day to Denia, which is an exciting one. You can do like all your water sports, parasailing, stuff like that. Then you've got the hop on, hop off bus in Benidorm. You've got the Wally train, which is only like about €3, but it takes you all around either the old town or the new town. In the summertime, you have opened Aqualandia, which is a water park. Mundamar, which it's like full of like sea lions, dolphins. They're actually located in Benidorm itself. Just outside of Benidorm, you've got Terra Natura and Aqua Natura, which is like a water park, and it's like a little bit peaceful, more for the family. And then you've got like, you can go and see some like wildlife, like elephants and stuff like that. And then in the summer you also have Terra Mythica, which is a fairground which is actually opening up in June. I've personally been there many years ago and I loved it, and I've been trying to go back again, but every time I've been going back I've not had the chance to because it hasn't been open. But I have fondest memories of Aqualandia with friends of mine who are no longer here. And yeah, so we've got that. Obviously, speaking of Calafinistrats, you have the La Marina shopping centre where everybody goes to. it's got everything for you, like your clothes, your supermarket, electronics, your deals, which is our Poundland, coffee places, restaurants, which is good, because you can either get the bus there, which is €1.60, yes, €1.60, which is like $2. It's cheap. Or you can also get the train return tickets, like €3 return. But then you've also got like the shops in the old town, which I love, especially the gift shops. I actually have my personal preference for a gift shop. He's a friend of mine. His name's George, and he is one of the sweetest Chinese guys ever. He's always like, "Hey, Sky, how are you? How are you?" And he's giving me hugs and he's showing me the new baby. I hold the new baby. I went to see his wife and his other kids. Only because it's a little bit emotional, but I was there like March and April, and my friend George was spelled with a J, and he basically was struggling for rent, because his wife was still pregnant at the time, and they needed money for rent, and they had a shop, and I was like helping them out as much as they can, and I was like, I walked off after it, because we got talking, because we're now friends, sort of thing. And I had to go back in, and I said, "Hey, will this help?" And I gave him €50, and he looked at me and cried, and he gave me a hug, and he said, "Nobody's helped us, you're the only person that's helped us." And I said, "Well, I love coming into your shop. You've got amazing products, you've got amazing little souvenirs for my friends. I'm going to come here for my souvenirs, because the cheapest chips, and my friends are going to love it." Which my friends do. All my friends love the stuff I've got out of there. So, yeah. So I had to mention that. Then, speaking of like gifts, like you've got like your Zara, your Natura, and all your other little nice clothes shops, Fashion City, stuff like that. But I have to mention a store. 2 stores. One's clasped all everywhere in Benidorm. Ali Hop. I love Ali Hop. I am a Ali Hop connoisseur. I love getting my bits from Ali Hop. I'll get like tripods and everything out of there, and I wouldn't care. So yeah, and they're not bad quality. I've got like a few like massage bits, water bottles, stuff for my friends out there, you name it, like I've got it for them. And it's like you can get like little alien bits, the lot, and I was buzzing. I just loved it. It was like, but it was like not expensive, but it lasts for ages. So yeah, so oh boy, started to get into like a little bit of pain, but bear with me. I'm just gonna take some medicine, because I've got to carry on, because we're almost finished. Just a little bit better. So anyway, I have to mention one more store, because I have made friends with these ladies, especially Lydia. Lydia is my favourite gal, and it's Todo Plata. Basically what that means is everything in the shop is sterling silver jewellery. Yes, jewellery connoisseur. Yep. So yeah, I get my earrings, my necklaces, my bracelets, my rings, you name it. This is where I go. So yeah, the secret's now out. I go to Todo Plata in Benidorm. That's where I've been going for all my stuff. Let me tuck me top in, because it's gone out everywhere. So yeah. So anyway, I love Todo Plata. I have got gifts for everybody there, and people that obviously have upset me. I bought them cross bracelets, little lock necklaces, earrings, you name it. I've bought all my friends gifts there, and I love it. And the staff are so friendly. They're like, "You're back again, you want..." I was like, "Yeah, I want more stuff." But every time I seem to go, there's always been a sale. But that's like my favourite place in the whole wide world. So, jewellery. But like shopping in general in Benidorm is cheap. Is cheap. And then you've got the Grand Via in Alicante. If you make the train there, which is like about €4.50 return. And then you've got Alicante Shopping Centre as well, like in the main point of Alicante. So I'd say shopping in Benidorm is insanely cheap, whether it's like gift shops, whatever. Now, there's something of mine on my bucket list that I've never had a chance to do, but I'm gonna try and do it when I next get out there. I don't know what's ever stopped me, but for many, many years I've always wanted to walk to the Benidorm Cross. It's been on my bucket list for years and years and years. Just something I've always wanted to do and never got the chance to do when I lived in Benidorm because of my weight, which knocked my confidence a bit. And I've been trying for ages, but never got a chance. So if you get an opportunity, make that walk, because once you get to the top, the views are stunning. The views are absolutely stunning. I need to do a vlog just on its own to that cross, or go live to that cross, do a live video to that cross, because that is insane. But speaking of hiking, you can go hiking around Benidorm. You can go hiking up towards Aqualandia, in La Cala, hiking in Albia. There's loads of nice places. We actually found a place in La Nucia. I was trying to find the fountain, and I couldn't find it. But I ended up finding this hiking spot, and we went for a little bit of a hike, and you could see it on my vlog. But it was beautiful hike. You'd see like the views of like all the mountains and everything like that. It was beautiful. There is also another place where I suggest people would go if we're speaking of trips, and that's Guadalest and the fountain and like the cliffs and all that. Amazing views there. That's something I would recommend going. And yeah, so next is a big thing. Food and restaurants, my favourite thing in the world. Let's speak about food. I spoke a bit about tapas, but this is food in general. Now, breakfast is a big thing. Now, breakfast we can always eat in the hotel, but personally, I found a couple of nice little spots in Benidorm for breakfast, and I'm going to highlight a couple of them for you right now. Speaking of the old town, there's 4 places that do breakfast that I love. Now, I don't do your typical English breakfast like bacon, egg, sausage. I do the Spanish breakfast with the tea and coffee for like €3-4, which is a Spanish tostada, which is basically a baguette, half a baguette, with fresh tomato. In Spain they do a thing called fresh tomato, and it's beautiful, with a little pinch of salt and a little drizzle of olive oil. Have that with your tea, coffee, orange juice. It's like $4.50. Now, my favourite place to go to have that is Bella Lagia, which is on like a main avenue walking in as you go into the old town. Beautiful. The staff there are friendly. I also like Rico. Their con tomate is stunning. I also like Tiffany's, but I got like what's it called? A cibola. It's basically, it's got like potato, egg, onion. It's nice, and I had that as well in Tiffany's. With like, I have an Americano or a cafe con leche with soya milk in Bella Lydia and Nico. Also, I have tried Spasso, but I wasn't impressed with the Spanish breakfast, I will admit that. Pinocchio's isn't too bad either, but my two main favourites are Rico and Bella Lydia for breakfast. Coffee, I do like. There's another one further along that same road as Bella Lydia. I think it's like something bakeries. They do like croissants and stuff like that, which is insane. But speaking of bakeries, I love Granier. There was another place that I loved, but it unfortunately shut down. But Granier, they do the most nicest pastries and cakes, and it's only like €4 or €5, but the stuff's so good. But I need to highlight one other Brunch Box. I am going to try and do a food review for you guys when I'm in Benidorm. So yeah, I am going to try that for you. A food review there, and I'm going to do another food review at Zodiac Tapas. But there is one other place that I have to highly recommend to you guys for breakfast. It's my favourite place for breakfast. Only because my friends Ellie and Jim work there, and it's Coffee Benidorm. Coffee Benidorm in the indoor market. Oh my word. Coffee Benidorm is so good. They cater for me coffee. The cakes are freshly made. And the food's just sublime. They do smoothies, everything like that. But obviously, they're my favourite. That's my favourite all-time breakfast, is off Ellie and Jim in Coffee Benidorm. I cannot go to Benidorm without even making a couple of visits to Ellie and Jim. Amazing people. But let's speak about the indoor market just 1 second before I go back to food. In the indoor market, you've got so many things to do. But speaking of, I want to highlight something quickly. Exchanging money. Indoor market is the best place. Sheila's or Tony's is the best. Don't go to these outside places because they'll rip you off. Go to Sheila's and Tony's, which is amazing. They do all sorts of like little other bits like aloe vera, perfumes. They've got the hairdressers. They also do the foot spa there, which a lot of people like intimidated, but I like, if I'm having a nice little pedicure, I do like the fish nibbling at my feet. So yeah. So also, but for food as well, speaking of food, one of my favourite places for food in Benidorm is Ray's 2 fish and chips. Good old classic fish and chips. My favourite, Iris. Iris is the best. She has had this special homemade batter mix for over 20 years. For as long as even I was there. For over 20 years. And it's the best fish I've ever tasted in my life. She'll never tell you the recipe. But my home girl, Iris, has the most amazing fish ever. And chips. Just tried it. Oh, China Garden. China Garden in Benidorm is the best place for your Chinese. But I have 2 favourite Chineses. One is China Garden. Oh my word. Their chicken and garlic sauce is something else. They do amazing shumais, and they also do the best Chinese tea I've ever tried in my life. And I like them very much is because last year we stayed in their apartment that they own in Benidorm. So, and we had a great time there. It was a 2-bed apartment. The kitchen was decent. I was able to do my washing. I was able to do me editing there. Not an issue. It was so much fun but they're the owners that own the China Garden restaurant. So if you ever do get to stay in the Monte Carlo, it's them. They have their apartment, and it's amazingly priced on everything. They're so sweet. So I always make sure I get to go to China Garden to have at least a Chinese while I'm there. Another Chinese place, which is my favourite, is actually in La Lucia. It's called the Jumbo Mediterraneo, and it's a buffet. You can get what you want, but they do the show cooking there with the steak and the chicken and the prawns. It's the best ever. If you've not been, highly recommend yourselves going. I think it's like a €10 taxi ride there and a €10 ride taxi back, but it's so worth it. And they're just so much sweethearts. I'm just trying to think for Indian. Let's go to steak first. My favourite place for steak is Bad Bull. It used to be the old Dino's. But then one of the owners passed away, and obviously the other owner, son, sold it on. No, hang on. The other owner sold it to his son, and the son created it as Bad Bull, as this steak place. The steak is heavenly, and it's so cheap. I've never known steak so cheap in Benidorm in all my life, but I love my steak, and I go there for my steak. Indian food. I do like my Indian food, and I've been recommended 2 places to go to, which I want to try and go while I'm there. One is Clay Oven, which is next door to Royal Secret, and I was recommended there by Kay and a few other people. Yeah. And we'll talk about Royal Secret in a minute. So that's a recommendation that I'm going to try. And also I want to try Cafe India, which is on the Mediterranean, which is so good. Just trying to think where else is good that I've been. The Grand National is good for roast dinner. If you want a decent roast dinner, Grand National is quite good, and they do cater for your allergy. And there's a few other places as well, but I do like. Where do I like? Mariano's is amazing for chicken, but a lot of people lately have said don't go there anymore for your chicken because it's the previous night's chicken. It's not fresh. But I will say this, my favourite place in the world for chicken is the Old Town, and I am staying not far from where this chicken place is, and it's only €8 for a whole chicken, but it's fresh. That's the big thing, it's fresh, and I'm definitely going to be trying that when I'm next in Benidorm. So if you love Benidorm, you've got to try their whole chicken. Obviously you do slices of pizza for like €2, which is, I really do like their pizza as well in Benidorm. I'm just trying to think what else I've tried since I've been there. A lot of times I've just been eating in. So yeah, that's like food wise. Oh yeah, I did try a pizza place near the Old Town, but I wasn't too fussed on it because they give me the wrong wine and stuff like that. But now we're going like the food restaurant bit. There is a couple of new restaurants that I want to try. There's MIA that do amazing food, and the drinks are just superb. I used to go there with my friend DJ Vicky used to play. Now she's in Ibiza, doing so well for herself. The Croon, I'd love to try Dutch food, which I've never tried Dutch food before. And then there's like a Belgian bakery on the corner that's all in this square that I want to try as well. And then obviously I just want to try a few little places in the Old Town, and obviously Brunch Box, which I'm going to do a review for you guys. So now, speaking of bars that I love, Royal Secret. We're going to start with Royal Secret. Kate, as I said it before, Kaylee's the best. The cocktails she has made for me are simply next to none. But she does put a lot of alcohol in it. So, yeah. So I try only have like maybe one or two. I remember one night having four, but I still wasn't drunk, but I just wanted to test these cocktails. They were so good. But that's one place I'll be going to. I found a karaoke place. If you guys are a fan of karaoke, benidorm does karaoke. There's a place called Voices, and yes, it's an amazing little complex. But I will say this: try and get yourself served by the lady, not the gentleman. Because I drink amaretto and coke when I'm in benidorm. That's I mainly drink that. Or I might have like a Corona or something like that, or a Desperado. They're like my main drinks I go for. Go with her because she only charges you €5.30. The guy charges you €9.10. So yeah, that's my only downside to that. But you are waiting a little bit to sing. I waited an hour and a half to sing, but it was worth it because I got chatting with this nice couple and then I've done a quiz. If you are in Albia, let's speak a quiz. Go to Casper's. Amazing place to do quizzes. I went there, had fun. Speaking of quizzes, I do also like Tommy Cooper Lounge, which Stu owns, as well as the Tartan Bar on Avenida Veracruz, which is in the new town of Benidorm. Yeah. Tommy Cooper Lounge, they do like fun quiz nights. So on Wednesday and Sunday, me and Millie are going to take our way to Tommy Cooper Lounge and have fun. We're doing some quizzes, yeah, because Millie's coming with me. So yeah, that's a bar I really do like. Just chill out, relax. There's not many people in there, so I like places there. I used to like Saxo, but I have an issue with one of the owners. Just don't like going in there anymore. A bar I really do like, oh man, I like Beer Friends. I do like Beer Friends. Beer Friends is cool. But speaking of bars, actual bars, obviously MIA is pretty good. I do like, which is pretty amazing, is the Pig and Whistle in the Old Town. They've got they have live acts on every night, and I've actually vlogged in there before. The owner, Lee, is so sweet. A friend of mine used to work in there doing the quizzes, but he got the boot. So yeah, obviously, and then Winner's Bar, which is, if you've heard of the Benidorm enthusiast, Lucy, she actually works in Winner's Bar. And her girlfriend, well, her fiance, works in Vincent's in the Old Town, and they do amazing karaoke in Vincent. So if you like your karaoke, or you want like a nice atmosphere in a bar that you can watch like soccer and all that jazz, go to Lucy's Bar. It's pretty amazing. And I'm just trying to think where else is good bar wise. Obviously Royal Secret. I did go to Peter's karaoke, but the karaoke wasn't on. So that wasn't too bad. Just trying to think. Which is good. The Palladium's pretty good. Why not? Black chicken. Oh man. But mainly I do like the Old Town better because it's a better environment, and plus it's open till like 3-4 in the morning, and you can just toddle to like the beach and just look at the beach and go to see the sunset, grab some pizza, and there you go. There's some like bars and restaurants. So yeah. Obviously it was on there. Difference between Levante and Poniente. Levante is more livelier. Poniente is more like the relaxed, chilled. As I said, I do prefer the Old Town because I like the chill, the relaxed, because of my anxiety issues. So Old Town is more for me. But I do like to walk into Levante Beach side of things and have a look at the bars and the restaurants. So yeah. Now the train station is positioned going out of the Old Town in Benidorm, but once you get there you can go to like Alicante, Finistrat, have a nice day out, whatever. Train prices are cheaper than they are in the UK. So yeah, and obviously I have to venture out to Alicante to sign contracts and stuff like that. So yeah. Well, what I personally do in Benidorm, for me, what I personally do, I just do a typical day for me in Benidorm. Get up, watch the sunrise. I am obsessed with watching the sunrise, so I might be calling somebody up to get them to watch the sunrise with me. So it's so good. I go for my breakfast, go and see my friends, probably might do a bit of shopping, go for some lunch, vlog some bits and bobs, and yeah, come back, have a siesta. We always have to have a siesta. It's very important you have a siesta because it gets quite hot. And then go out and enjoy like the nightlife and have some nice food and stuff like that. But I will say this, I do recommend a place in Benidorm for the Pearsons. Oh yeah, I've got to mention one other place in Benidorm as well, which is top notch. I go to Vikinging for my tattoos. Right, what happened was, I did have this done. It took 4.5 hours, but it started to get blotchy in places. So a friend of mine has like tweaked it up a bit, which is so much better. But I usually go for my piercings. But one of my piercings has fell out, so I really, really want to get that put back in again. To see if they'll let me pop it back in again, like they'll redo the hole. But I've also had there, and I've never had an issue, is the hoop in my ear is the Daith, which I'm going to get a smaller one when I go there because it's annoying, this big one. And then this is a conch, so I'm going to get this smaller when I go there. So yeah, but here's the thing, I don't plan on getting any other piercings, you guys, unless if I want. And here's the thing, I'm happy with the piercings I've got. I don't want any more. I just want another one on the back of my neck, and then get these sorted out, and I might get one just popped here on the top, just there or there, but that's it. I do plan on getting a couple of more tattoos though, but that's for somewhere else, here and there. But yeah, I do plan on going back to Vikinging so they can sort this out. Obviously, as I said, bus and train travel is more cheaper in Benidorm. Bus tickets are €1.60 for a single, and around €4.50 return on the train, depending where you go. Now, obviously, this is another important thing that we have to do when you're in Benidorm. If you do get a little bit sick, and I'll talk about supermarkets as well in a second, a lot of chemists in Benidorm do shut for siesta between 2 and 5 p.m. So you just gotta be careful of that. So if you are needing medicine, either go in the morning or after 5. And I do have to stress this out, you do have to wear a mask when you go into the chemist. It is the law. Yeah. There and the hospital, you have to wear a mask. But some are open till 10 o'clock, and there's like 3 in Benidorm that are opening for 24 hours. And they're all on the Levant. There's one on Avenida Europa, on the corner near to Cali Ibiza. One on Avenida Mediterraneo, and there's one in the Old Town that's open 24 hours as well. So, yeah. So we got that out the way. What else did I mention? There was something else I wanted to mention. It's just come to me. Oh man. Oh yeah, they've got a place called I forgot to mention this. In Benidorm they've also got a bowling alley, but it's quite expensive. But if it does rain, you've got somewhere to go. I personally sometimes I like to do the arcades just now and again, and I do have my own card, my Festalandia card, so every time I want to shoot some hoops or whatever, I'll just go there for a couple of hours just to chill. But yeah, supermarkets. I love the supermarkets. You have your Massy Mas. They closed down there, so there's no more there. So it's Massy Mas, Daila Pri, Consum, Mercadona, Lidl. So yeah. Out of all of them, my favourites are Consum and Mercadona. I've always loved the quality of their produce, and them 2 stores cater more for my allergy than any other store ever. So yeah, and I've had some of the most amazing stuff out of there. You can get a perfume for €2.50 and it lasts for a couple of hours. It's insane. The fruit there is quite cheap. Coffee, I get coffee like this that's dairy free, 85 cents. 85 cents. But my most favourite thing in the world, it's somewhere here, I've put it over there. I like to have it. It's but only certain Mercadonas do it. It's blueberries and pomegranates wrapped in dark chocolate. It's so good. Oh, it's my favourite thing in the world. And they do turon, which is a nugget with nuts inside, and they create their own walnuts or caramelised in this shop where I like to go to in the Old Town. I will definitely show you that as well. Now, last thing I want to talk to you guys about. Sorry that this is a long video, and then I'm going to add something at the end. If you are wanting to go to if you are needing to go to hospital, right? Yes, you've got the iMed in Levante or Clinica Benidorm, but they will charge you a fortune if you haven't got insurance. But there is free hospitals in Benidorm. They do have a free hospital. One is on Avenida Zahena, Juan Zahena, but they don't speak English, so you have to take your phone with the translator to tell them the problem, but it is free with your e-hit card. or your global card. And also that card is also valid and useful for the free hospital in La Villa Joyosa, which is 20 minutes away in the taxi. So yeah. Oh yeah, and I forgot to also say, a lot of places in Benidorm, the White Line parking's free. A lot of places in Benidorm, your parking is free. Sometimes you have to pay, like, the odd coppers. But that's here, no, and whatever. So, yeah. I do want to mention quickly one other thing. Do I personally, because this is going to be like the end, and I'm so sorry that this is a long vlog. Do I like Benidorm? Yes, I do. It's always got a special place in my heart because I lived there for many, many years. Yes, there is always going to be good points or bad points. I never want people to, like, be put off by Benidorm because they hear the bad points. And just so people know, people get put off and say, because of one street in Benidorm, oh, it's Blackpool. It's nothing like Benidorm. It's nothing like Blackpool. If you venture to the Old Town or La Cala or Finistrat or Alicante, you've got a different quality of life out there, and it's just so calming and relaxing. Why I like staying in the Old Town a lot is because it helps with my anxiety, and it will help you with your anxiety, and it has loads of like little bits and bobs, and the first time I went over in March, I loved it. Second time in November, I kind of hated it, only because I was surrounded by people that were fucking bullies and bitches and stuff like that. So people were like thinking, oh, it's put you off. And I was like, no, it hasn't. Like, I'm half going there for work, but I'm half going there to have fun and relax and watch amazing sunrises and chill and just take my time. I've only got like 2 to 3 days of working, and then the rest of the time I can go and have fun. Every single night I've got fun. I'm gonna have fun, like, but have fun in a respectful and amazing way. Only because I've got a boyfriend now, and I'm not gonna cheat on my boyfriend, obviously, because he means the world to me. So I do it more than respectful. Just have a laugh, have fun, have a little cheeky dance, have a little cheeky little sing. Yes, I do like to sing on the karaoke, but obviously I don't, with everything that I've said, I don't want you to be put off. I want you to see it for yourself and have your perspective and have your opinions, but don't let it put off you with what I've said. But I just love Benidorm because it's always got a special place in my heart. As I said, I lived there for 15 years. Because when I lived in Benidorm, that's when my wrestling career took off massively. I was a champion probably every other week or every other week or every month. I was holding belts from different parts, and they were coming over to Spain to wrestle me from different companies all over Europe. So I was having a belt either every other week or every month. So it was like the highlight of my career, living in Spain. Like, as I was telling people, my career didn't take off in the UK. My career took off in Spain when I lived in Spain from 2001. That's when my career took off. So yeah, my career didn't take off in 1996. My career took off in 2001, 5 years later. So yeah. So that's why Spain always, and Benidorm always holds a special place in my heart, because I fought for everything that I fought for. Here's the thing, every championship I've won, I done it on my own. I worked my ass off. And I'm so proud of the fact that I became independent at a young age. Didn't need my family. went to live in a foreign country. I had no help. I had no help from nobody. I done it all on my own. That's why I'm a strong ass motherfucker. I do everything me. And for the first time in my life, I'm happy. I'm truly, truly happy. But as I said, I don't want what I've said about benidorm to put you guys off. Ever. Ever, ever. I love benidorm. There's bits that I don't like about benidorm, but it doesn't outweigh the fact of how much I love benidorm. Oh yeah, and another thing as well, La Guerra Park. Before I go, I have to talk about La Guerra Park. I love walking through it. I just love the serenity of it and everything. And you are going to see some amazing, amazing stuff, amazing interviews, a very special interview, personal, emotional interview from me. I don't know whether I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel or I'm going to keep it back to be put part on the documentary. Or have like sneak peeks, but there is going to be a couple of special, amazing interviews. Hoping my belt comes in time, by the way. I don't want no mentions on the belt because Monique has almost finished the graphics, the logo, so I'm so happy with that. It just takes 2 weeks, so I am pushing it fast. I'm pushing a fine line before I go away. But as I said, I don't want what I've said to put you off coming to benidorm, but I just have to tell you, yes, this can happen in benidorm, but it's not stopped me from enjoying a place that I've lived and love so much, and it's always going to have a special place in my heart, no matter where I go, because there's so much to do in benidorm. Like, and I'm going to show you just a snippet of it when I go away for the 9 days in May. So yeah, I'm sorry that this is a long video, but I needed to put everything in, and yeah, it's getting me a little bit emotional now talking about it, but I'm okay, I'm all good. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, turn that notification bell on, you get a brand new video from me very, very soon, and I do hope that you enjoy the video, and I can't wait to show you a place that I've loved for so long, and I'll always love it because it's always got a special place in my heart, and that's benidorm. So yeah, stay gaudy, have unpleasant dreams, and the Gore Queen will see you soon. Love yous. Ciao. Thank you. Bye bye.